everyone, and welcome to a special chat just for you. I'm Shinta Hernandez, and I'm the Department Chair of Sociology, Anthropology, Criminal Justice at the Rockville and Tacoma Park Silver Spring campuses at Montgomery College. I'm here with our college president, Dr. DeRionne Pollard, and our Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Sanjay. Hi, Dr. Pollard and Dr. Rai. How are you both doing?
Doing well, thank you.
Thank you. Good, very good.
How are you doing?
I am doing well. We are healthy, we are safe, and that is certainly what matters most.
That is so true.
Well, I can only imagine how busy the two of you have been these last few months. And I know we're all diligently working to get our students to the finish line. So I want to thank you for taking time out of your extremely busy schedules to talk to us about what has been happening at Montgomery College lately and what will happen in the near future. So during our chat, I have a handful of questions that I'd like to ask, and I'll simply alternate between the two of you. So if I may, I'll just dive right into the first question, if that's all right with both of you.
Sure.
Okay. The first question is for Dr. Pollard. What are some factors that influence Montgomery College's response to the COVID-19 pandemic?
I think one of the things that's pretty interesting about this moment is that I don't know of a college or a university that was completely prepared for this. Many may study the concepts of pandemics and epidemics. Many of them may look at emergency management in very deliberate ways. But the idea of thinking how you lead an organization in these moments is really a unique moment, I think, in the history of community colleges right now. You certainly will see certain things like in New Orleans and Louisiana around Katrina and other types of phenomena, but this here is something distinctly different. So we did something I think pretty thoughtful right when we started to realize that this pandemic was starting to grow exponentially. We put together a Corona Advisory Task Force, and that group met every day, probably at least 2 hours, if not more in some cases, for probably a month to sit down and strategize and plan, even before we made the decision to go to remote teaching, learning, and working, and then to, after that had started, to make sure that we were doing all the things needed to happen to make that successful. Shinta, you know what I think was amazing to me is that we knew that we have a lot of talent at Montgomery College in our classrooms, in our offices, in our leadership team, but to see that harnessed in a way to guide us, I thought was very important. For me, about 2 weeks after we had kind of gotten into this process of the remote teaching, learning, and working, I wanted to start to pivot as a college, not to be focused on the crisis in the moment, to be thinking about what is going to look like for the college in the future. I'm going to try not to say the word new normal because I think it's overused now. I don't think it is really reflective of what we need to be talking about. I'm also not going to say recovery because I think that suggests that we had an illness and it's over. What I think we really are is now, what is it like to do the work that we have to do based on the context in which we operate? And for us, we've been doing that for decades as a sector. So I sat down and put together a set of guiding principles after we had been at this for a little while to really kind of capture both two things, our intent and also process. The intent of what we were trying to do as an organization and being very thoughtful about the protocols we had put in place, the discipline that we had put in place around these issues, and then some of the things that we needed to be thinking about in order to respond to. So this document called Roadmap for Resilient Transformation, a Thriving Montgomery College Post-COVID-19 is actually will be posted on the college's website fairly soon. And as a result of that, people will kind of get to see this. But it started off with a set of guiding principles. Adapt. That's something that's very important because this reality is not going to change, and our ability to adapt more quickly is important. In addition to that, to protect the values of the college. We believe in equity, radical inclusion, respect for the dignity of our students and employees, and making sure that we do not underserve the underserved. That's very important. It's part of the ethos of the college. Leading our community. We knew for a fact that we continue as one of the largest employers, largest entities, that we would have a leadership role, whether it was informal or formal, recognized or not. So we were going to have to take that role. We knew that listening to our students, our employees, our alumni, our stakeholders, our elected officials, business leaders, nonprofit sectors, lovers of the college and critics of the college, we needed to be astute listeners in ways that I think are powerful for us, because we are going to need to do the next thing, partner. None of us will have the ability to solve all of these problems or respond to them by ourselves. So partnering was going to be important. We have to protect fiscal sustainability. That's a significant issue, both of the board, but also as we're seeing in this environment around us. What we know to be true about resources are not the same. So we have to be very thoughtful about that and be good stewards. The last two, I think, were pretty important just from an ethos of who we are. Communicate. We knew that we had to have regular, relevant, compassionate, and clear communication to the college community so that people would understand how and why we were doing the work that we were doing. And then for me, the last one I think probably speaks more to how I choose to lead. And it says, practice the courageous transformation that this moment demands. If we think that we're going to be the same after this moment, we're woefully uninformed. So this idea of being courageous and owning our own transformation versus waiting for somebody else to tell us what to do, that's a theme in my life. And I think as a result of it is how I try to lead. So whenever I'd have the conversations with Dr. Rai and others, it was very deliberate to say, let's be courageous about what we need to do right now, even if we have to do a whole lot of explaining to figure out how we got there. So those are the guiding principles that have informed the college's response to COVID-19.
Well, Dr. Pollard, thank you for that. I'm certainly very appreciative to work in an environment and an organization that is very proactive. And you've certainly, the institution has certainly shown a high level of proactivity through your guiding principles, the roadmap for resilient transformation, the ongoing work of the Corona Advisory Team, and the number of things that you mentioned. I'm certainly very, again, appreciative and blessed that we have stuck to our core values as an institution, radical inclusivity, compassion, social justice, and the like. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Well, Dr. Rai, the next question is for you. What went into the planning for emergency remote teaching? What were some of the challenges and what were some of the outcomes that indicate success?
So there's a lot there. But, just to piggyback on what Dr. Pollard said, very decisive leadership from the beginning. These are emergency situations. Nobody was prepared to do that. But decisive leadership from Dr. Pollard at the college and bringing the Corona Advisory Team, I think those were the defining moments of our response to this crisis. As part of instruction, we developed a continuation of instruction plan, and we followed it. And that plan was developed with input from across the institution. And things like having course cadres. We had a lot of faculty with a lot of experience. For every single course, we were able to create course cadres. And phenomenal resilience of our faculty and also students. Our learning centers, suddenly, learning centers started offering e-tutoring overnight. We leapfrogged into a lot of things. These were some challenges for us over the last 5 to 10 years. We were trying to do these things, but in a crisis moment, we leapfrogged and we started providing those services. Our Achieving the Promise Academy started providing remote services. All were very, very helpful. But I have to tell you, some of the things that we had done over the last 4 or 5 years, they came very handy at this moment of crisis. So things like, we launching of online degrees, that was helpful. Open education resources, you were involved with that initiative. That came pretty helpful at this time. We have online extended winter session. That experience, launching something like that, that created assets within the institution to respond to this kind of situation. And when Dr. Pollard reorganized the college, that as part of that reorganization, we created this elite unit. This unit brought distance education, instruction technology, and faculty professional development all under one umbrella. Again, that was very helpful. Our learning management system was completely updated. We have video conferencing, Collaborate, and IT did a phenomenal job bringing Zoom just at the right time, and that became very helpful. 100% of our classes, 100% of our courses had a Blackboard shell. So we were starting from a very good place. We were not starting too far behind. Now, challenge is we're a large institution. This, just on the credit side, we had 19,000 students, 3,000 sections, more than 1,200 faculty. So just look at academic diversity. You have art classes, you have photography classes, you have science classes, you have nursing classes, and each has a different challenge going into the new medium, which is the online medium. And then, our community, college community is also dealing with the issues that come with the pandemic. So, all those were challenges, but I think we came out pretty good. As far as success is concerned, we did something very good from the beginning. We created a dashboard to monitor our progress. While it was risky to start that with the beginning, but it came out to be a pretty good thing to do. So, we finished instruction, this week. So if you look at the student withdrawals, it's 40% less compared to last year. I think that's pretty good. Students engaged with our e-tutoring, about 4,500 until last week. So students are engaged. Then faculty identified about 1,000 students, I think about 4 weeks ago, who were not engaged. So out of 19,000, 1,000 were not engaged. Then ATPA coaches, our counselors, advisors, they all reached out to those students, and good number of them came back. So I think, if you look at all that, it's hard to say we are successful, but I think we're on the right path. And I think we have done our best to respond to this situation.
And thank you again for that, Dr. Rai. I will also say I want to commend you and your team again for the kind of proactive measures that were taken even before all of this. So I can't even imagine, when I hear or read stories in various publications about certain higher ed institutions who are really struggling, my heart goes out to them. I mean, can you imagine where we would be if we didn't do the OER initiatives or the extended winter or, giving a Blackboard shell to X number of courses? I mean, we certainly would be not in the place where we are today. So very good job. And the dashboard, I'm going to also share this with you. I've been showing that off to a lot of different groups, and I've just heard praises about what a great mechanism that is to chronicle and measure the work that we're doing. So, all right. The next question is for Dr. Pollard. What are your expectations for summer and fall of 2020?
I think, excuse me, my expectations actually are very similar to what they would always be, maybe amplified in some ways. One is I expect that we will continue to deliver on academic excellence. And when I listen to what is happening in our classrooms with our faculty, who are absolutely amazing, the way in which faculty came in and said, okay, we're going to figure this out. And they worked with Dr. Rai and his team to actually produce what we are doing right now. It is stunning to me. So I expect that same level of focus and determination around academic excellence. Secondly, I expect us to continue to be thinking about agility and flexibility. I believe that where we are right now, we're well positioned thanks to the leadership of so many people. But I really want to give big kudos to Dr. Rai, Chief Academic Officer, and I say this in a lot of different places. I get to make a lot of decisions, and every year I usually think I make one really good decision. A few years ago, I made a really good decision by asking him to serve as a Chief Academic Officer. And as a result of that, that combination of vision and focus has been very deliberate to get us to where we are right now. So I'm still expecting our faculty and our staff and our administration to still be agile and flexible, because we're going to have to continue this leapfrog moment and develop a lot of muscle around this concept of being agile and flexible in very different ways. The third thing that I want is compassion and kindness, both for our students whose lives are more complex than they ever were before, for our peers and colleagues whose lives are so complex. Dr. Rai reminds us, as we've been dealing with this the last 2 months, we've had colleagues that I have sat in these Zoom meetings with who have lost parents, who've lost family and friends, whose spouses are contemplating work and not having it, who are trying to manage their own health. So I think we have to continue to think about that same compassion and kindness we want extended to us, to also extend that to others while we're in the midst of this. And the last thing that I would say that I would want us to be thinking about is, what do we need to do in order to fulfill our mission so that we are more relevant and helping to influence the direction that our county needs us to be in? That to me, I think, is going to be very important. We are a mission-driven organization. There's something very proud and distinctive about that. And at the same time, we have to continue to demonstrate our relevance to audiences. So I would hope that our faculty and our staff who are doing this type of training understand that it's about this catapult moment for the entire community that we serve, as well as being very deliberate to know that where we are right now is not where we're going to end up. So we've got to be constantly working to make sure that happens. So that's what comes up to me right now when I think about my expectations.
And thank you for that. As a sociologist, I'm trained to think big picture, to understand what the external factors are out there that can influence what happens at the ground level. And then I'm also sensitive to what really happens at the ground level, everything all the way down to the minor details. But I also appreciate, Dr. Pollard, that you're holding all of us accountable with some tough love. And I say that in this way: tough as in you're holding us to the highest of standards, which is what we ought to be doing with one another and with ourselves and our students. But then you're emphasizing that compassion, that empathy that we also should exercise as we move forward.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Dr. Rai, next question is for you. What plans have been made for faculty professional development over the summer? Can you tell us some of the features?
So thank you for that question. As you know, we have been preparing very hard over the last month to prepare for this. It's again, the example of being ahead, right? You heard Dr. Pollard's expectation of academic excellence. We have a history of doing that at the college. We have very high quality courses in face-to-face environment. Now we have to kind of go into a different medium, at least for the summer, and most part of the fall is also possible. So the question is this is not a training just for a training. Now there is a focus, there is objective, and as a mathematician, my background, it is a problem that needs to be addressed, right? So how do we take all these our high quality face-to-face courses into a new medium that is online medium? So the training is comprehensive and is being developed and planned with that objective. We will involve national experts, one of the best in the country, not only at a general level, but also specific to the discipline level as well. Very comprehensive training. And over the last 4 or 5 weeks, as leapfrogging is the word that comes to my mind all the time, we have learned a lot of things. We have learned, that we have a lot of strength. We have a lot of faculty with outstanding ideas. We have a lot of faculty doing great work, a lot of audio visual content in their online courses. I have seen so many over the last 6 weeks. The idea is to create a training where we can build upon these successful courses. So certainly, in-depth training of the learning management system. In our case, is Blackboard. Then Blackboard has video conferencing. Now we are advancing that to Collaborate Ultra. Again, all that is being done. Collaborate and Collaborate Ultra, difference is that Collaborate Ultra is cloud-based. suddenly, opportunities are unlimited now. Zoom, certainly, that's also coming as part of our learning management system. So all these issues that people were facing with the Zoom, some of them will be minimized. Online pedagogy, that's important, right? What kind of pedagogy is suited for the new system? Then assessment of student learning outcome using the learning management system. That's an important part of going into this medium. And once you have learned all that at a general level, how do you apply that to a particular discipline? So I learned all these Blackboard, all these things. How do I apply this to teaching of psychology or teaching of physics? So fortunately, we have expert faculty doing that. So those expert faculty will again assist all other faculty who are going through this for the first time. Then embedding student support, tutoring. How do you support that how do you bring that into your classroom? Because now students are not going to a tutoring center. Same for embedded coaching and other things. So, this is a problem where, it's like, it's not about translating your face-to-face class into online medium. It is about adapting. Yeah. Dr. Pollard used that word earlier, right? How do you adapt to the new medium? While new medium has some constraint, those constraints can be overcome by the training. But the new medium, again, provides you a lot of other opportunities. Now you're not within the constraints of the walls of your classrooms. You have the entire world as your classroom now, right? You can bring all the resources so easily. So, it's like you read a book, right? And then someone makes a movie from the book. So when you take the book and take to this new medium of celluloid, you adapt that to that medium, right? You don't do everything and there is a script written, another thing, that process goes on, right? So this training will prepare all of us to take our high quality work from face-to-face classes and bring it into this new medium. Our MC 2025 has one of the major objectives there, I think within goal 2, of virtual campus. So now suddenly, the work that we were planning to do it over the next 5 years, I think first couple of works were already done in the last 6 weeks. So we have to expedite that. So it's part of our plan. The good thing is that we had the vision of doing those things. We had started doing those things, and now we are leapfrogging to that.
Exactly. And that goes back to the whole theme of being very proactive. We were already thinking about moving in that direction, putting things in place. And, you have COVID-19 that simply just expedited things for us, and that is okay. But we were already going in that direction. And Dr. Rai, I certainly appreciate, and I cannot wait for the college to unveil the comprehensive professional development opportunity for faculty with all the different components that you mentioned, bringing in the experts who will talk about the online pedagogy and discipline-based experts and embedded supports and the like. So very exciting stuff happening in the very near future. Thank you for that. All right, so there is one final question, and this question actually goes to both of you. Okay. Dr. Pollard, I will start with you. So what message do you have for faculty who will be participating in the Summer Professional Development Institute?
I think that the message that is probably the same thing that I would tell anyone who's taking any professional development. Be engaged, choose to be present. I know that oftentimes when we're in these spaces for teaching and learning professional development, we can be distracted, and it's very easy, particularly doing it in a virtual environment. We have a watch that's telling us something, a cell phone is telling us, a kid may run past, or whatever the case is. So to the extent you can, to be fully present. Secondly, to be courageous. There are going to be some moments, and I loved Dr. Rai's comment about adaptation. You're not just simply going to be able to replicate what you did in one spot and expect it to be the same. You're going to have to adapt it and figure out what are the best methods for that. I expect you to be and hope that you will be gentle and kind with yourself and your peers in this learning. Anytime you learn something new or you take what you know to a different level, there's a moment of stress and strain that goes with that. I notice every time I decide to try to increase my speed on my next exercise goal, there's a moment where you have to adjust a little bit to that. So I want people to be very intentional about that. And also, don't be afraid to ask questions. And you want to problematize and to think about this pedagogy, what these experts may be telling you, what you know about our students and how you and figure out what that looks like based on what you teach and how you teach. And the last thing I'll say, and maybe it's a little odd because I'm just a closet nerd, everybody says anyway, have fun. Have fun. Anytime you learn something new, every time I've had to grow in my life and by learning something new, I always approached it with two things in mind: be uncomfortable and be willing to learn. And the second is enjoy the experience of learning. So I would encourage people to approach the faculty development experience that way.
And I certainly appreciate that message, because that's the message that I'm sure all of our faculty give our students too. Exactly. Enjoy the learning process, enjoy this environment, right? So we should do the same. Thank you for that. And Dr. Rai, what about you? What message do you have for faculty who will be participating in this Summer Professional Development Institute?
Essentially the same thing, suddenly we have all become students, right?
Yes.
It's a new environment for everyone. So how our students sometimes enjoy classes, sometimes they struggle. Learning is a process. It's a beautiful process, right? Let's, as Dr. Pollard said, let's enjoy, let's have fun, let's learn these things, and then come back and deliver a class that our students are expecting. A lot of marketing efforts is going on from the college about quality of our classes, quality of our faculty. And I have every reason to believe that we'll deliver everything that we are saying. We have a history of doing it. We have outstanding faculty, one of the best, one of the very best ever. So I think take full advantage of these opportunities. And I want to thank everybody. Last 6 weeks were not easy 6 weeks, but everyone has gone several steps, several miles ahead to help our students. So I really thank everyone for their efforts.
I concur, Dr. Rai. And I also want to thank you, Shinta, for your leadership in the faculty and making sure that this type of program is successful. Thank you, and Dr. Niels, the whole elite team, and everyone who's participating. You're doing it for you, you're doing it for our students, you're doing it for the college. So thank you.
And thank you, Dr. Pollard.
Thank you, both of you, Dr. Pollard and Dr. Rai, for providing the kind of leadership that is absolutely needed in these times now, but into the future, even when all of this will be a distant memory. So thank you so much for your leadership.
Thank you.
Well, there's going to be a lot of great opportunities for faculty this summer. I'm certainly excited to see the many different ways that faculty will get a chance to enhance their virtual teaching practices and learning environments. Faculty who are interested in getting more information about the Institute can visit its website. And this really wraps up our chat. Do you have any concluding remarks you want to say before I offer my concluding remarks?
Just thank you, and thank the participants who'll be there.
All right, perfect.
Thank you.
And I also want to say this, above all, certainly thank you so much for always being in our corner and supporting our colleagues and our students. And to all of you who are watching, be on the lookout for information about the Summer Professional Development Institute, which officially kicks off during Professional Week on Monday, May 18th. We begin that week with a speaker series on very relevant topics, and then we proceed throughout the summer with valuable professional development opportunities for faculty offered by the Office of Elite. Please stay healthy, stay safe, and stay MC strong. Thank you, and take care.
Thank you.